Community Fire Department just got a huge upgrade. It comes in the middle of burn bans now in effect across our area. WTVA's Jake White shows us how the new addition will help people living in the area.
The Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department just received a brand new fire truck, and that's after their old fire truck was decades old. Take a look. Today, the Wheeler Fire Department took a delivery on a brand new fire truck for their station. And while fire trucks should be replaced every 15 years, it's their first new fire truck in 25 years. This volunteer fire department is vital to the Wheeler community for increased safety reasons. This comes after the burn bans have taken effect in multiple counties all across Mississippi.
And you know, that takes a dedication. That's a special people. When they put their life on the line every time we have a fire in the community, they save lives, and it's an encouragement to the community knowing that they have these red-blooded Americans standing up for them out there in case they have a need. So we can't do enough for our volunteer fire departments.
So what are the benefits to the community from the new fire truck?
It'll be our primary truck to any kind of structure fire. It's got newer technology on it. It will carry equipment, and it's got the water. It's actually got a foam system on it, which will aid in extinguishment of fire, actually help us put a fire out and keep it out.
Now, Jamie also tells me that because of this new fire truck, the homeowners insurance in the community is going down as well. With WTVA 9 News, I'm Jake White.
A newborn baby left out in the woods. And yes, this happened locally. The baby was abandoned in Noxubee County. A 15-year-old girl secretly gave birth in her home in Macon. Afterwards, she left the baby under the trees behind her house. According to police, the mother kept her pregnancy a secret and gave birth to her son in a bathroom. She then placed her baby under leaves in the wooded area behind her house. Luckily, the aunt found the baby before it was too late. Both the mother and child were sent to the hospital and are stable. WTVA's Sammy Roebuck explains.
Can you imagine a 15-year-old giving birth in the bathroom? Nobody around. She not knowing. I knew it was a scary sight.
Police say the aunt knew it was an odd time for her niece to be taking a bath that early. So the aunt began to ask questions. Macon Police Chief says it was a terrible sight in that bathroom.
So once she went in the bathroom, she seen a bloody scene, questioned her where the baby was at, and she delayed telling her. She finally told her. So the auntie basically followed a blood track onto the wooded area and heard the baby crying.
Chief Beck says the girl had a completely natural birth by herself without making a sound.
Very, very dangerous. They didn't even know she gave birth. She didn't make a sound. She didn't make nothing. At age 15 years old, I'm just shocking. Shocking. A full-grown woman, she gonna scream, she gonna holler, she gonna scratch and scrape, but
with pregnancy comes changes in the body. Chief Beck says someone should have been paying attention to her. He gave some advice to anyone facing a similar situation.
Do not do this, because worst case scenario, the next child may not make it. And at 15, 14, even 13, you'd be facing criminal charges. And you possibly will go to jail.
And that was Sammy Roebuck reporting. There are many resources for women in need of a safe space, but Chief Beck encourages those facing any similar circumstances to talk with their family. A Tallahatchie man thought he was going to Chickasaw County to buy a car. Instead, he was shot and killed. Now prosecutors are trying to convince a jury to find a man guilty of pulling the trigger. Jarquavius Doss is on trial for the 2020 death of Robert Cox. This is some video from after the lunch break today when the defendant re-entered the courtroom at the Chickasaw County Justice Court building. Today's witnesses included several people involved in the investigation, as well as the victim's stepdaughter. She was with Cox the night he was killed. She testified she believed Doss is the one who pulled the trigger. She also said no questions asked by the state or the defense would change her mind. Tomorrow, it'll be the defense team's turn to call witnesses. Then the case will go to the jury for deliberation. In the old days, mental health issues were talked about in hushed tones, or maybe not talked about at all. Now we know millions of Americans are affected in one way or another when it comes to mental health. This morning, the Mississippi University for Women hosted a mental health and wellness fair. It was to encourage wellness within the student body and the surrounding community. The fair highlighted different areas of mental wellness, including physical, emotional, social, and even financial.
All of these vendors, plus us at the counseling center, are here for students, and it's very important. And sometimes students will come and they'll talk, but then sometimes they won't. So one of the things that's exciting about here is that there's lots of different vendors.
Experts say nearly 1 in 5 Americans are living with some type of mental issue. And it's not just adults who struggle with mental health issues. According to the CDC, between 2016 and 2019, nearly 6 million children were diagnosed with anxiety, and nearly 3 million were diagnosed with depression. Since 2016, the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force has urged screening for depression in kids 12 and older. Now it's being recommended that kids age 8 and older get screened for anxiety. Both recommendations apply to children who don't have a diagnosed mental health condition and who are not showing recognized symptoms of anxiety or depression. The task force says screenings should help primary care doctors identify conditions early on so children and teens can get the care they need as soon as possible. 9 out of 10 adults believe there's a mental health crisis in the U.S. That's according to a recent poll. Many Americans may not be getting the mental health help they need. 80% of those who took part in a recent poll say the cost of mental health care is a big problem. About 3/4 say that insurers not covering mental health the way they do physical health is a significant concern. 63% are concerned about the lack of providers taking insurance. Anxiety is the most commonly reported mental health issue, but doctors say there are steps you can take that may help. First, identify what's behind it. Then take a break. Think about ways you can adjust your life. When it comes to depression, another common mental health concern, experts say be aware of the signs, which may include feeling sad or anxious, often not wanting to take part in activities you once thought were fun, feeling irritable, having trouble sleeping, and changes in appetite. If you're feeling these symptoms, talk to someone. This summer, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline switched to a 3-digit number, 988. Early data suggest success, with calls jumping 45% in the first month compared with the same time a year before. We still have much more news ahead. An investigation is ongoing tonight concerning the Mississippi congressman in charge of the January 6th hearings and a suspicious letter. We explained what happened as the news at 9 o'clock continues.
All righty, I'll be ready. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You're watching WTVA 9 News with anchor Alyssa Martin, Severe Weather Authority meteorologist John Delucic, and sports with Matt St. Jean.
Tonight, we are following a developing story coming out of the nation's capital concerning a Mississippi congressman. A letter with some concerning language was received near the office of Representative Benny Thompson. You may remember Thompson chairs the committee investigating the events of January 6th. Authorities initially responded to reports of a suspicious powder or substance, but police later said they didn't find anything dangerous inside. They're now working to find who sent the letter and why. The January 6th committee is set to hold its next and possibly final hearing into the Capitol riots on Thursday.
Alrighty, 9:13 right now, and indeed we do have ourselves some rain in the forecast, even some thunderstorms, and maybe even a few strong and hefty ones. We'll talk about that and a lot more in just a few moments.
Now, your WTVA Severe Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist John Delucic.
Well, John, we are obviously in desperate need of some rainfall. The rain is in sight for our area.
Yeah, we do have some rain showers actually on radar right now, but they're not reaching the ground. The surface is a little bit too dry still to support some rain, but at least we're showing some rain that's aloft, that's several thousand feet up in the air, that's trying to reach our surface. Tonight, not much luck. Maybe just a few isolated areas of light rain showers, not out of the question. However, tomorrow as we go through today, we will see rain become a little more likely in patchy form, and maybe even some isolated to scattered thunderstorms that can be heavy at times. You're looking at folks out and about right now in the Oxford area. It's a nice partly cloudy to mostly clear evening in Oxford, and it's also partly to mostly clear skies right now in the Tupelo area. This is the north side, Gloucester Street, and also McCullough Boulevard. You can see not much traffic out there, a few cars flowing by. Now, tomorrow, here's what's going to happen. We're going to see some showers and thunderstorms develop in our neck of the woods in patchy form again. That means here and there, but not everywhere, for showers and even some scattered thunderstorms. And whatever does pop up, we'll have the potential to see maybe something hefty. Now, the question mark is how strong do the winds get? On a typical severe weather time when everything's healthy, 50, 60 mile per hour winds. That's where your severe thunderstorms start toppling some trees. But the trees have been weakened by weeks and weeks of lack of rainfall. Some trees even have died in the situations across North Mississippi and northwestern sections of Alabama. Those trees won't take much more than 35, 40 mile per hour winds to start toppling some of those trees, especially as we go into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening with some of those isolated thunderstorms. 60s and some upper 50s out there right now. We drop off another 7 to 10 degrees as we go into the overnight hours. And you can see a little bit of shower activity out there, albeit this is very light stuff, most likely, again, not reaching the ground, but shows you our little bits and pieces of rain that are starting to flow into our area. We're starting to see also some clouds gradually build into our area. That'll be the story for the overnight hours. Variably cloudy skies. We will see some isolated activity by overnight into tomorrow in very, very isolated fashion again across the area. That means very slim stuff. However, tomorrow as we go through the day, our chances for rainfall will increase and we will see some pretty decent areas of rain. Now, not everybody watching will see a lot of rainfall. Some folks will miss out on some of the activity, but you can see as we go through the overnight hours and into tomorrow, some isolated to widely scattered showers throughout the next 12 hours or so, 18 hours or so. But tomorrow afternoon, starting to see some scattered showers. Then tomorrow evening, we start to build in a little better chance. Here we are at 6 o'clock, some isolated thunderstorms with a little influx of moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and also this stuff that you're seeing coming in from Arkansas. Watch what happens. That's the stronger stuff tomorrow night, tomorrow into the evening and into tomorrow night, that is. And some of these thunderstorms will provide winds 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, maybe in excess of severe thunderstorm winds up around 55, 60 miles an hour. So indeed, we are going to be looking at the potential thereof of some damage, especially wind damage tomorrow. And even some indications are of a very, very slim chance of an isolated tornado. Brief spin-up cannot be ruled out of the question. So that's going to be happening again tomorrow evening into portions of tomorrow night, shortly after midnight. After that, everything clears out. We stay nice, beautiful weather, dry weather again. Could be still some fire danger as we go into Friday and Saturday, especially with those humidity values down around 20% or so. Then another front in here doesn't give us that much in the way of rainfall right now. That's for Sunday. And after that, we cool things off. Look at that. A week from today, Alyssa, 66 degrees. So I've mentioned that we're stair-stepping into a nice, beautiful fall gradually, and still no frost or freeze temperatures categories in our forecast, but don't be surprised in a couple of weeks that could be happening in our neck of the woods. And again, that bit of rain that we get tomorrow and tomorrow evening will not amount to much, but still it's a step in the right direction.
All right, at this point, any little baby step in the right direction will be a big help.
That's right.
John, thanks so much.
This is a watershed moment for planetary defense and a watershed moment for humanity.
A smashing success for NASA. That's the word on a mission designed to prepare for any asteroids that could threaten our planet in the future. This story, much more, as WTVA 9 News on WLOV continues.
We're tracking key Senate races 1 month out from the midterm elections. I'm Molly Henneberg in Washington. That story just ahead.
It is down to the wire for candidates running for seats in this year's midterm election. Control of Congress could come down to just a handful of seats in the Senate. Both sides are doing their best to stay on message. But as Molly Henneberg shows us, issues like the economy, abortion, and President Biden are in focus.
Trying to flip a Georgia Senate seat to red, some Senate Republicans rallied Tuesday for candidate Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker is going to help build a Republican majority in the United States Senate.
2 years is enough of this high inflation, crime, wide open border, unhappiness.
Incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, who won a special election for the seat in 2021, is presenting himself as a uniter before the two debate on Friday.
There are a lot of forces at work in America right now trying to divide us. Because folk who have no vision traffic in division.
In Ohio, during a debate Monday night between two Senate hopefuls, Republican author J.D. Vance and Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan, Ryan said he does not want President Biden to run again in 2024.
I've been very clear. I'd like to see a generational change.
Some Democrats say that's not a good sign.
It's always bad when you throw your own party overboard.
Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz wants to know why Democrat Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, who suffered a stroke in May, won't debate until October 25th.
Probably a third of the ballots could be actually sent in by the time I even have the debate. What's he hiding?
According to new Fox News power rankings, the Pennsylvania and Georgia Senate races are considered toss-ups, and the Ohio Senate race is leaning Republican. In Washington, Molly Henneberg, WTVA 9 News. Alyssa, back to you.
The Biden administration offered a preview of the student loan forgiveness website ahead of its launch expected later this month. In August, President Biden announced his decision to cancel up to $20,000 for eligible borrowers. Officials say the goal is to begin to get the debt relief processed ahead of January, when student loan payments will begin again after a multi-year freeze amid the pandemic. They kept the number of questions to a minimum. Borrowers will not need to upload any documents. The dry conditions may be bad for burning, but some Mississippi farmers are happy with the weather now that it's harvest time. Plus, up, and away. Take a look. Your eyes are not fooling you. That's WTVA's Daniela Oropeza taken to the skies. She's telling us about an ongoing pilot shortage. Also giving us a first-hand look at pilot training. This program could put more pilots in the cockpit. It's a story you do not want to miss coming up in our next half hour.
Local, late breaking. This is WTVA 9 News.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for staying with us tonight. A new program in Tupelo is working to alleviate the pilot shortage across the country. WTVA's Daniela Oropeza shows us what it takes to learn how to fly a plane.
Whether you're looking for a new career or considering a new hobby, or if you're trying to get over your fear of heights, maybe you should consider becoming a pilot. And you can learn how to do that right here in Tupelo.
You start learning to fly as soon as you get in the airplane.
You definitely do.
Cam Triplett is a certified flight instructor, or CFI, at Mize Aviation. Located at the Tupelo Regional Airport, this is where you can learn how to fly.
Oh my gosh! See, I told you you'd have the time of your life. This is amazing! Isn't it though?
It's just one of those things. It's kind of an exhilarating feeling.
Scott Mize is the owner. He opened his business in the spring.
Our motto that we run by is put your dreams to rest and come fly with the best. And we thoroughly believe that because we have the best instructors that you can find anywhere here.
Triplett says a pilot shortage started before the pandemic. Thousands of pilots were then offered early retirement when demand for travel went down in 2020. Then it got worse. Last summer, airlines canceled hundreds of flights.
And the amount going out was far greater than the amount coming in, and it's still that way.
It's not a hard skill to learn. The CFIs give you what you can handle.
Runway 36, clear for takeoff.
While letting you adventure, Triplett let me fly over places I knew, like WTVA. And you can also put your trust in the instructors.
I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie.
All right, you want me to help out?
Yes.
Okay, I got you, boss.
There are moments like that, but you've got to start somewhere.
Come tell us.
Don't think this is something hard to begin. You can simply find Mize Aviation on Instagram or Facebook, or you can call Scott Mize himself to become a pilot. In Tupelo, Daniela Oropeza, WTVA 9 News.
Mississippi unemployment rates remain unchanged despite a loss of about 8,000 payroll jobs. This week, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released its openings and turnover report for August. Despite the loss of jobs, unemployment is holding steady at 3.6%. As of right now, more than a third of the state's 82 counties have unemployment less than the state average. That includes most of this area of our state. Mississippi's river communities are taking a hit on tourism dollars as low water levels are keeping riverboats tied up at the docks. Water levels on parts of the Mississippi River are so low that traffic on the waterway is halted. Officials at Viking Cruises say the unusually low water has caused long delays. Passengers affected by cancellations were notified and say that already low water levels are not expected to improve anytime soon. It is officially harvest time for Mississippi peanut growers. The MSU Extension Service says peanut growers should see average yields this year. Dry weather over the summer slowed peanut growth. Right now, about 30% of the crop this year is already harvested. Current market price is about 25 cents per pound, which is slightly higher than last year. As Alabama hunters prepare to hit the woods for deer season, wildlife leaders are paying close attention for any spreading cases of chronic wasting disease. The first case in Alabama was discovered on January 6th in the Northwest Management Zone across from Iuka. There are now restrictions in place to prohibit the transport of deer from the area. The disease is a neurological disease that's transmissible, infectious, and terminal. This year's deer season in Alabama begins October 15th with archery season. We still have more news ahead. Where are we heading this Friday for our Game Day Haircuts Game of the Week? WTVA's Matt St. Jean joins us after the break to give us the answer.
NASA says it's ready to defend Earth if an asteroid heads our way. I'm Matt Finn, and I've got the details on NASA's latest mission coming up.
Well, the Friday Night Fever countdown has been a lot of fun this football season. WTVA's Matt St. Jean joins us to tell us where he's heading for this week's Game Day Haircuts Game of the Week.
When a mayor of a town reaches out to you on Twitter, hyping up a game and says, I want to do a massive event for Friday Night Fever countdown, what am I to say? No, I say the hype train is already rolling, and this week it is rolling through Eupora. The Eagles are on a hot streak after losing 2 of their first 3. They've won 4 in a row, including a massive district battle against Calhoun City last week. Doesn't get any easier as the Choctaw County Chargers come to town, and it seems like head coach Jeff Roberts has the squad moving in the right direction. I am pumped for this one. There are some serious athletes taking the field, including 5-star sophomore receiver Caleb Cunningham, who received an offer from Georgia yesterday. Antonio Kennedy is also a beast for the Chargers, 6'1", 200 pounds as a running back. On Eupora's side, Ty Murphy, the quarterback, he's a freak athlete. He can throw, he can burn you with his feet, just an all-around great athlete, and as you can tell, I'm already ready for it to be Friday. Of course, that isn't the only massive game in the area. Sammy Roebuck will be in Tupelo for the undefeated Golden Wave showdown with Madison Central. The Jags lost a tough one against Clinton last week. They'll be ready to go. Meanwhile, in Big Louisville, the Wildcats host their biggest district challenge in undefeated West Lauderdale. They'll get the Ethan Foster treatment on Friday. Meanwhile, in college football, what a time to be alive in Mississippi. Ole Miss ranked at 9 and Mississippi State at 16. Last week, Mike Leach got his first win as Bulldogs head coach against Arkansas, and Lane Kiffin will try to do the same this week against Auburn. The 11 a.m. game on Saturday is already sold out as of today. The past 2 years in this matchup, the Rebel defense had no answer for the much-maligned Bo Nix. But the good news for Lane and the Rebs, Nix plays for Oregon now and won't be trotting through the tunnel at Vaught Hemingway. They will have to deal with talented running backs Tank Bigsby, best name in college football, by the way, and Neshoba Central product Jarquez Hunter. After giving up a season-high 28 points to Vanderbilt last week, run stuffer and Oxford native J.J. Pegues and the defense are looking to make a statement against the visiting Tigers. And oh yeah, did I mention that J.J. transferred from Auburn back to his hometown Ole Miss?
Like, I still love them, like I said, they're my friends, but at the end of the day, we playing them, so they my enemy until the end of the game. Obviously, you got Tank Bigsby and Jabari Hunter, but I feel like if we just bring our A game like we did versus Kentucky, we'll be good.
Meanwhile, in Stark Vegas, the Bulldogs are rolling 3 straight games with over 40 points. Will Rogers has thrown for at least 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in every game except LSU. Which we won't talk about that game. Sorry, State fans. But the last 2 games, the thing that made me do a double take, the running game. At one point late in the first half against Arkansas, State had as many rushes as passes. That's unheard of with Mike Leach. Dylan Johnson was the first back to run for 100 yards under Leach, and at the end of the game, State nearly had 200 yards rushing total, which was the most under Leach. That offensive line is cooking right now. Second straight SEC game with 0 sacks given up. State's defense didn't have to deal with KJ Jefferson on Saturday, and they will get a hobbled Will Levis at Kentucky this week. Levis missed last week's game with a foot injury, and Kentucky dropped their second straight. Levis is considered day-to-day, but he did practice today, according to team reports. Regardless of Levis, you better believe the Wildcats will want to end the losing streak before their game against Tennessee next week. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
A historic day for NASA, the space agency announcing it has successfully nudged an asteroid off its orbit. Matt Finn has more on what this means for the planet and mankind.
A galactic grand slam 7 million miles from Earth. NASA announces its DART spacecraft successfully shifted the path of a small, harmless asteroid millions of miles away.
And after a 10-month journey, millions of miles, NASA successfully crashed a refrigerator-sized spacecraft into the asteroid Dimorphos.
The impact happened 2 weeks ago as part of a $325 million mission to test Earth's planetary defense. Multiple agencies and international partners worked together on the project, several scientists describing it as a dress rehearsal for the day a killer rock threatens our planet.
And it just gave it a small nudge.
But if you wanted to do this in the future, potentially, it could potentially work, but you'd want to do it years in advance.
NASA also saying DART not only shifted the asteroid's orbit, it also carved a crater into it. Telescope observations from Chile and South Africa reveal it created a comet-like trail of dust and rubble stretching several thousand miles. Planetary defense experts say that is the preferred outcome, rather than blowing it up and creating multiple pieces of debris that could rain down on Earth years from now.
This mission shows that NASA is trying to be ready for whatever the universe throws at us. I believe that NASA has proven that we are serious as a defender of the planet.
This is NASA's first attempt at shifting an asteroid or any object in space. Matt Finn, WTVA 9 News. Alyssa, back to you.
All righty, Alyssa's over here on the other side. However, we are looking at some pretty good chances for some rainfall, albeit it's scattered stuff. We'll talk about that scattered stuff in just a few moments.
You didn't tell me Matt Finn was a handsome. Next time you just didn't drop my number.
That's the big question. I don't know.
He is handsome. Little cutie.
We'll have something for it.
Oh, that flustered me. He's so cute.
There could be nothing at all. It's a big load of everything thinks it's going to be something.
310's good. Sounds good. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wow. How handsome was he?
He called your name out.
He called my name out and grinned while he did it.
Are you going to keep it on record now, and you're going to just play it back every every few minutes? Like,
because the forecast keeps changing on me.
Good.
Not changing, it's just what I want to believe. What do you want to believe?
I know we're.
Now, your WTVA Severe Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist John Delucic.
Well, John, it looks like the rain is in sight. We desperately need this rainfall.
Yeah, we need the rainfall, and there will be some rain. Not for everybody great doses of rainfall, but there will be some rain showers, even some isolated to scattered thunderstorms. And the question mark is, how intense will this stuff get? We are going to be seeing some gusty winds. Even without thunderstorms, we will see some gusty winds. As a matter of fact, this map showing you some gusty winds up to 20 to 30 miles an hour in the afternoon. That could already be playing with some of the limbs of some of the trees falling. Now, let me just slide this time frame a little forward. See that little batch coming in from our north and west? That's some stronger winds along with some thunderstorm activity. That's showing you some winds 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Now, if that happens with some thunderstorms, again, the way that we've been over the last several weeks with all of our trees losing their punch and everything, now they're just sitting there. Some have died. This is not going to be a good situation. So hence, we've got a chance that we will see some strong and gusty winds that could produce some damage. Again, tomorrow, maybe not again in excess of 60 miles an hour, 58 miles an hour, where you have official severe thunderstorm. warning, but you will have winds 40, maybe 50 miles an hour at times, and that still could do a lot of damage in a similar fashion if you had healthy trees getting 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. So tomorrow will be an interesting day to watch. And first of all is the question mark is how much moisture is going to be gathering in front of this frontal system to give us some showers and storms. We're watching what's happening in the plains. I'll show you what's happening in the plains in just a moment. That's going to be giving us an example of what could happen tomorrow. Upper 50s, lower to middle 60s out there right now. And we're looking at some rain aloft, not reaching the ground. It's too dry on the surface. This stuff is evaporating before it reaches our surface. Now, this stuff we don't have to worry about. There's some rain showers that'll pass through, maybe some isolated stuff. Now, if you go up north into portions of Nebraska, that's now starting to show us some isolated to widely scattered thunderstorm activity. It's taken a long time to pop some of this activity up, and there's some pretty good moisture flowing in. Tomorrow, it'll be that kind of performance in our neck of the woods. We will see some scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, some of which will pack a punch, and again, maybe, just maybe, a few that will become official severe thunderstorm warnings. Even without a warning, again, tomorrow could be an interesting day because of 20 to 40 mile per hour winds along the front. And again, some trees falling. You're looking at 80s for highs tomorrow before the showers and storms move in. Tomorrow evening, it'll be the scattered stuff. You can see right here, not much happening tonight, right? Just those isolated, widely scattered showers in which will most likely not be reaching the ground too much. But then tomorrow, watch a few flare-ups of some thunderstorms throughout the day, and then as we go in toward the evening hours, still at 6 o'clock, not much, right? Some scattered storms with the one batch right here, but then you've got this stuff coming through. 10 o'clock toward about midnight, you'll be seeing some pretty good areas of rain showers and storms. Let's just say after sunset tomorrow will be the best bet till about roughly 2 or 3 o'clock on your Thursday morning. After that, everything tapers off. On Thursday, a few clouds in the morning. We end up with mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. We stay nice Friday and Saturday. Low humidity values bring us some more fire danger, and then another front in here on Sunday gives us a few showers, and then Monday and Tuesday, much cooler conditions, 60s to lower 70s for highs. So all in all, weather-wise, we're going to be dealing with, all in all, just a mishmash of things. That's a look at weather.
WTVA 9 News begins now with breaking news.
I don't know, did I?
So I'm assuming it has something to do with you. I'm sorry.
It is what it is. No, I don't think so.
You're not gonna get a Halloween happy. You and Chelsea.
Me and Chelsea, all.
You and Chelsea.
Weather is allergic to them.
Confirm.
Very, very dangerous. They didn't even know she gave birth. She didn't make a sound. She didn't make nothing at age 15 years old. I mean, I'm just shocking. Shocking.
Come on.
Poor thing. It's like, I don't know, I'm so sick of these damn tree wrap, but like,
I know.
for it. Like, my
I
cat
know.
was just like yanking it around. Like, literally, the thing was like doing flips in the air because of how rough she was being with it. And trying to get away and climb up the fence, and she literally chased it and got it back down.
And then Elsa, meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, Elsa was like, what?
What happened? Our cat was going bonkers tonight. Bonkers.
WTVA 9 News
Kids will bring their
begins
clothes
now
down that they're
with
gonna wear
breaking
the next day,
news.
and, like, Penny's socks were all wadded in a ball, and he's like throwing them up, like batting at them, and I'm like, which he usually never does. I just threw something in for a toss to him. It doesn't come out.
Just chroma would be fine. Yeah, well, I mean, it can be chroma reality. I'm pulling John's stuff down, but wasn't planning on having anything on reality. Oh, yeah, no, it's the other shot. It's the other shot. Because I'm going to want the cart in the shot. Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very dangerous. They didn't even
Macon Police Chief Divine Beck was extremely surprised.
Oh, sorry.